Your unwritten epic begins. Dragon's Dogma 2 returns as Dragon's Dogma 2 Dark Arisen October 9th, 2026 on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, PC, and Nintendo Switch 2. The dynamic fantasy world is expanded with new tales and thrilling encounters available as a bundle or as a separate expansion DLC on existing platforms. That's right, Arisen. Dragon's Dogma 2 DLC is in fact real. And I'm just as shocked as probably most of you because this was definitely unexpected. But even more unexpected is the place where it was revealed. This was revealed today during the Nintendo Direct, which is a platform where Dragon's Dogma 2 wasn't even in. But interestingly enough, it kind of was the same thing for Grand Blue Fantasy Relink Endless Ragnarok, if I remember correctly. Or am I wrong there? Did Endless Ragnarok end up getting revealed before? I don't know. But either way, Dragon's Dogma 2 DLC is real. They're calling it Dark Arisen again, which is a little bit weird because obviously the story of Dark Arisen and all of that took place in Bitter Black Isle, and they're not really showing us Bitter Black Isle. Not sure what's going on there. As a matter of fact, we're going to a completely different location. We're going to be in a snow map. They showed us a couple of monsters. We're going to be going over the trailer. We're going to be going over the website. We're going to be going over all of the information that is currently available on the internet. This was the first post. Since then, the Dragon's Dogma account has been posting quite a bit. They're talking about like an overview of what you expect from Dragon's Dogma 2. Dragon's Dogma 2 is, in fact, an amazing game. I played it. I like it a lot. It is somewhat controversial because some people are kind of upset over some of the decisions that they've taken in terms of like no fast travel, no mounts, a really big world to explore, and a lot of people don't really appreciate that. I kind of like that, but there's more to it. There's also performance issues, very much like we had with Monster Hunter Wilds, and a lot of that stuff is apparently getting addressed quite late, we might add, but it is getting addressed nonetheless. They've made a post about it indicating that there's going to be updates to Dragon's Dogma 2 that are going to be rolling out over the coming months on all of the platforms. And they say, in the lead up to Dragon's Dogma 2 Dark Arisen, we'll be releasing two major title updates to improve and enhance the base game. First up is Title Update 3.1 on June 10th, which brings a host of quality of life improvements as well as a reusable Eternal Fairy Stone. Which, to be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of Eternal Fairy Stones. I like the traversal of Dragon's Dogma 2, but it is what it is. We've had that for Dark Arisen as well. We have here fast travel / movement adjustments, additions / adjustments of options, UI improvements, pawn adjustments, reward adjustments, shop adjustments, text adjustments, and bug fixes, and more. That's a ton of stuff that is being added literally tomorrow as I'm recording this video. And then coming at the end of August, 3.2, system improvements through game engine updates, adjustments, performance improvements, save system improvements, Dragon's Plague adjustments, action adjustments, more pawn adjustments, more enemy adjustments, UI improvements, and bug fixes. Now, when it comes to enemy adjustments, I think that one of the big things is we wanted to have more challenging enemies when we got to New Game Plus, because essentially you get to the end of the game, you go to New Game Plus, and it's kind of like a victory lap. You're just one-shotting everything because you're grossly overpowered. And I've also talked about how the difficulty closer to the end of the game is, could do with some tuning, so that might be some of the things that they're doing. In terms of the performance improvements, the conclusions that I would immediately jump to is like, well, they've been updating Monster Hunter Wilds quite a bit, which is on the same engine, so they're probably just re-implementing a lot of the fixes that they've done for Monster Hunter Wilds and putting those into Dragon's Dogma 2, which is a good thing. But it also means that it's not going to necessarily revolutionize everything in the game. So if you had performance issues in the beginning of Dragon's Dogma 2, or whenever was the last time that you played it, things might improve depending on your hardware. Your mileage may vary, but it might not be, revolutionary. But one can hope. I hope that they definitely get this stuff right because Dragon's Dogma is one of my favorite franchises. Super excited that we're getting a DLC in the form of Dark Arisen, and I, for one, am going to be jumping in day one, straight up, no questions asked. Now, a couple more things that they bring up. They say here, Overview Part 1, new stories in a new area. Dragon's Dogma 2 Dark Arisen introduces a new area in the north, the snowy, long-abandoned Norgan region. Set forth in this Forsaken Dominion and join forces with the enigmatic heir, which I'm assuming is this female character that they've shown during the trailer, as you guys will see once we get into the trailer analysis portion of this video, who seeks to unravel the secrets of the undying fallen dragon. Undying Fallen Dragon. Where have we heard that one before? Unearth and appraise forgotten relics to unlock powerful new weapons and skills that will aid you on your journey. This is actually a system that I'm not the biggest fan of, but we'll talk more about that when they show it in the video. Overview Part 2, new challenges in the main area. So this means that you're going to go to Norgan. Yeah. You're going to go to Norgan. You're going to figure out what's going on with this Undying Fallen Dragon. There's probably going to be like a main campaign. You can see like an abandoned castle in here, like in ruins and stuff. This is probably where a lot of the main story is going to take place. Maybe. We'll see. But in the main area, so they're talking about like Vermund and Batal and all of those places, there's also going to be new challenges added. Uncover lost rites, trials laid by the Pathfinder in the form of 12 dungeon challenges spread across the existing world of Dragon's Dogma 2. Rare equipment once held by past Arisen lay dormant in the depths of these freshly uncovered unique dungeons. Sharpen your skills, test your mettle, and lay claim to legendary treasures. So we'll see how all that stuff gets panned out. We have the website here, comes with a lot of information. Your unwritten epic begins. There's the trailer. We're going to be watching that in a second here. But before, we're going to read about, all of this stuff. Dragon's Dogma 2 Dark Arisen enriches the dynamic fantasy world and expansive adventures of Dragon's Dogma 2 with unforgettable new tales and thrilling encounters. Based on feedback we received after the initial release of Dragon's Dogma 2, we established 3 goals for ourselves when we set out to update and expand the game. Enhanced gameplay, expanded adventures, enticing value. So they show here the base game with the stuff, and then the expansion pack. You can see we have Norgon, we have the 12 dungeons that are going to be added into the main area of Dragon's Dogma 2, and then you can see that they're gonna add more customization to your character as well as the pawns. You're gonna be able to change a bunch of hairstyles and a bunch of tattoos and stuff like that. Available for the first time, the Nintendo Switch 2 version will contain both Dragon's Dogma 2 base game and Dark Arisen expansion content. Dark Arisen expansion will also be available as separate DLC on PlayStation 5, yada yada. So if you already own the game, you can buy it as DLC. Dragon's Dogma 2 Deep Explorer. So in here, they're just describing what Dragon's Dogma 2 is all about. They're telling you these are probably the updates, I would imagine. Oh yeah, this is just like all the stuff that's been added to the game recently. Then we have 3 major additions: Forsaken Dominion, Another Tale of Ruin unfolds in the snowy north. Then they're basically just emphasizing that like these are the 3 things you're going to get, which one of the things does concern me. If one of the biggest features that you're announcing is like, hey, there's new hairstyles and tattoos, it's like, this is not really a big feature to me, okay? I want this, this I'll take, but the fact that you're listing it as a major feature, I'm a little bit concerned. But as you guys can see, we have like some screen grabs here of the area. You have that big ruined castle. You have like this camp thing. I like the Norse looking village here. So it looks like the area we're going to has like Norse themes and all of that good stuff, which I tend to enjoy. Viking inspired, yada, yada, yada. The name of the character we're going to hang out with is called Air, which is very much a Viking type of name. So we have here Norgan, the far north. Norgan serves as the stage for this new adventure, once a prosperous region in the kingdom of Vermund. So it's north of Vermund, the capital city that we kind of like start our adventure in Dragon's Dogma 2. The city is not called Vermund. Vermund is the name of the continent. The city is Vernworth or something like that. I forget the exact name. It was abandoned many years ago for reasons unknown. Long has it been since any soul traveled its paths. Blanketed in heavy snow, these frigid lands are home to savage hordes and creatures of unbelievable power. Those who are capable of vanquishing such fearsome foes or those who possess a keen eye for exploration will find themselves rewarded with powerful relics. So this is a system that was already present in the original Dark Arisen, where you basically purify gear. And so basically you're going to find gear in like a state that you can't really use it. And then you're going to take it to an NPC. That NPC is going to purify it. Once it purifies it, it becomes usable, but it's basically random gear. So you might be playing a warrior and then you find like some special magic archer bow or something like that. That is one of the more frustrating aspects of that particular system. It'd be great if we could influence the stuff we get, but I wouldn't necessarily expect that to be the case. This icy realm's unforgiving nature will truly test the Arisen's resolve. We have some more screenies here. There's a ballista in here. There's that settlement that we saw. It looks like a big dude we're going to be fighting. Big Norse looking dude. A Cyclops. This looks like the Cyclops skeleton for this particular enemy, except it's got a woolly mammoth skin type of deal going. But yeah, we see a bunch of abilities that are coming back. Some magic abilities like Lightning Whip, and you see a new enemy which kind of looks a little bit like a cockatrice almost. See a couple of wolves. See some more shenanigans. See warrior stuff. You see the mystic. What was his name? I forget the guy who wields the kind of like the dual friggin' pole thing. It was the one that I played on top of it. This is like the main class I was playing, and I was actually looking at the last episode of my Dragon's Dogma 2 playthrough, and that was the class that I was playing. Prove yourself with 12 dungeon challenges. The Lost Rites. Rare equipment, once held by past Arisens, lays dormant in the depths of freshly uncovered unique dungeons. Whether you want to sharpen your skills, lay claim to legendary treasures, test your mettle against the Pathfinder's trials. Bring your characters to life, new hairstyles and tattoos. You guys can see here, and then there's like something for a pre-order bonus. You get this Norse looking gear, and then it's just a bunch of more stuff. Like there's also Explorer's Camping Kit, camping gear, yada yada yada, Dragon's Dogma Music and Soul Collection. You guys know the deal that comes with this. But let's actually finally look at the first reveal, which was here in the Nintendo Direct. And this is what they showed us. Now we're going to look at the official trailer. Then we have a couple of more things that I want to look at as we go through those. So let's go right ahead.
Your unwritten epic begins. Dragon's Dogma 2 Dark Arisen is heading to Nintendo Switch 2. You are the Arisen, a hero burdened with the fate of slaying the dragon who has taken your heart. In this expanded version of Dragon's Dogma 2, explore the new land of Norgan, seek out spoils, then appraise them to reveal new weapons, armor, or skills.
See, this is what I was talking about, right? So you're going to find these types of spoils. Specifically, it seems like these will only show up in the new region, which was the same thing for Bitter Black Isle. So in the original Dragon's Dogma, the DLC took place in a different island. So you'd have to like take a boat, you'd go to an island, and in that island there was a different loot system, which is kind of like this. You pick up these spoils, and then you take the spoils back to another character, which appraises the spoils, and then you get random loot off of those spoils, which can sometimes be very frustrating if you're looking for, you know, an upgrade for your warrior character, right? Like, as you can see here, this is a warrior character that's looting this stuff.
Then appraise them to reveal new weapons.
And then you appraise it, and what did you get? Now, they did give him an axe here, probably so that the system doesn't look so bad, right? But look at the majority of gear that this character is going to get. Let's let this all play out. And you have here daggers, bow. I don't know what this is. Looks like some type of a charm or something. And then some cloth armor. Also, the warrior that you're playing here, which is an actual warrior, means that you use two-handed weapons. The first item that you get is a shield, which is not something that your character is going to use. So yeah, it's random loot. Gets kind of frustrating.
Or skills. With these arms at the ready, take down power.
Also, you can get skills from this equipment. The equipment can come with like certain skills. I forget exactly how it works, but yeah, you can also get skills from it.
Weapons, armor, or skills. With these arms at the ready, take down powerful monsters in this single-player action.
So was that the? I think it was. Let me actually lower the volume so that the backtracking doesn't get too annoying. Yeah, that's the same woolly mammoth looking Cyclops dude.
These arms at the ready.
It's gonna cause an avalanche. And then you have like one of these ice dragons.
This single-player action RPG adventure from a fighter specializing.
Here you have a parry from the fighter, which actually sends the enemy flying, which is pretty cool.
In close-range combat to a mage skilled in spell casting. Choose the vocation that fits.
And by the way, if you've never played Dragon's Dogma 2, like let me just tell you, I don't know of any other game that has quite as impactful spells when it comes to spell casting. Like Dragon's Dogma is just on a different level when it comes to casting spells.
To a mage skilled in spell casting. Choose the vocation that fits your playstyle.
So this was a skill that we had, I mean, not exactly like this, but we had a similar skill that I used to use back in Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen, because you could, I think it was the assassin that had it, you could do something where you just like basically put a bomb. And I think at a certain point, you were able to put this into the monster, then you trigger the thing. It was like explosion. I used to love that thing. That thing is amazing. Kind of sucks that you have to play as a thief to do it, because I used to play a character that was like sword and board, and I seem to remember still being able to use that skill, which is pretty cool.
Plus, you can lead up to 3 pawns, custom companions.
So interesting thing, I want you to notice the way that...
Plus, you can...
So there's an action here where an NPC is going to come in and save you, which is one of your pawns. I want you to notice that the direction of the dive, because they showed this scene in the other trailer, and it dives in a different direction, which I thought was interesting.
Lead up to 3 pawns, custom companions who act on their own when taking on massive monsters.
So that's a new thing as well, I think. I don't remember seeing pawns actually doing that, like pulling you up for a faster climb to a monster. That's kind of like a new move, which is pretty cool.
Taking on massive monsters, you can climb them to strike their weak points. Fighting alongside your pawns is key to victory.
You get the break parts off.
Dark and light, embark on an adventure and tell a tale all your own. What fate awaits the Arisen and their pawns? Dragon's Dogma 2, Dark Arisen, launches on Nintendo Switch 2, October 9th.
This was a really cool moment, I think, in this Nintendo Direct for all the Dragon's Dogma fans out there, because, you know, I don't know if people understand that for us, when we played the original Dragon's Dogma, we're like, oh man, this game is so cool. Then we got Dark Arisen, we're like, oh my god, this is so much better. This is freaking amazing. And then for God knows how many years, I forget exactly how many years it was, we were just like, we're never going to see Dragon's Dogma again. It's dead and buried. And then eventually got Dragon's Dogma 2. And then, you know, the launch of Dragon's Dogma 2 didn't exactly go as well as we wanted. And we're back in the doldrums just thinking like, oh man, we're not going to get another Dragon's Dogma. So the fact that we're getting a DLC and this early is just very, very surprising. But yeah. So this is the actual official trailer on the official Dragon's Dogma channel, which for some reason is flagged as AI. I'm not sure what that's about. It's a little bit weird, but yeah, let's jump in here. I just realized this because I've seen this opening sequence a bunch of times. Are we arriving by Griffin? Does that mean we're like fighting a griffin and then we ride the griffin into the new region? That's crazy. Or do we tame a griffin? That'd be even crazier. Now the tale of ruin unfolds. You see like all of the Viking inspired armors and shields and axes and stuff. I really like that. I love the theme. Woolly mammoth, cyclops looking dude. Bop, bop. Oh, he's got a frost breath, too. Avalanche, Frost Dragon, harsh trials await in these frigid lands. So it kind of goes through the same steps as the Nintendo trailer, but it's slightly different.
You shall not harm the Arisen.
So this is a really cool looking skill. Like, look at how your dude just like jumps off, pops off, boop, boop, boop. Makes me wonder if this is Archer or Strider. You know, because I seem to remember Strider was the one with like the fancy leaps and shenanigans. Also, Assassin could do that as well. What if they added Assassin back? Assassin was actually the class I played, because you could play Assassin as sword and board, and I really liked it. See the cockatrice looking thing here? This might have a different monster name that some people might be able to recognize, but to me, it just looks kind of like a cockatrice. Mystic Archer doing his Mystic Archer shenanigans.
Over here, Master. I can help
The same jump. And the cracking of the
truth behind Norman's
tusks.
downfall is at hand. I can feel it.
So it looks like we're going to be finding out the truth behind why this place fell down. You see somebody sitting in the throne here. This is likely an Arisen that did something wrong, because that was kind of like the same vibe that we had in the original Dark Arisen. So this is probably going to be your main villain type of thing. And considering that they show us an undead dragon of sorts, probably this is another character that tried breaking the cycle and failed, because the story of Dragon's Dogma is always about the cycle. There's the dragon, there's your character, and there's this cycle where you guys kind of like fight each other, But the reality is this whole thing is needed for balance reasons. There's like tons and tons and tons of lores. I'm just like oversimplifying this. Everything is, you know, kind of needed to maintain a semblance of balance, but then there's ways of breaking from the cycle. And yeah, that's one of the things that we do in Dragon's Dogma 2. We kind of like break the cycle. But for the purpose of the story of the Dark Arisen, I think they're going to do the same thing that they did in Dragon's Dogma 1. And most likely the story of Dark Arisen takes place before you finish Dragon's Dogma 2. Although it's kind of weird if your character's in the unmoored world. How's that going to work? How are they going to link your save to the unmoored world? Because that's kind of like post-apocalyptic scenario, really, really messed up situation. I have no idea how they're gonna, like, I wouldn't want to be the person that has to figure out how to connect these saves. Like, oh, but this person has like a save with 100 hours. How do we get them into the DLC that takes place before all this stuff happens, or does it happen afterwards? But if it happens afterwards, why are we playing our Arisen? It's weird. Like, those of you who've seen the story, you know the deal. I want you guys to speculate in the comment section. Let me know. But yeah, this is likely going to be one of the main antagonists, and now they're going to show us like the big undead dragon. The thief skill that we talked about with the explosions. You see the sensor dude there doing his thing. Notice the chest of the undead dragon in that shot there. Like the open undead dragon chest and shenanigans.
Arisen. 'Tis a burden I alone must shoulder.
I don't think that character's a pawn. I think that's air. But yeah, so in regards to that particular dragon, I'm not saying it's the same dragon, but there's likely going to be some type of a connection to this other dragon, which is called the Dragon, which was present. This wasn't even just present in Dark Arisen. I believe that the Dragon was present in base Dragon's Dogma. But as you guys can see, this is kind of like a undead-looking dragon as well. He's got these pustules that you're supposed to target, and he is actually a pain in the ass to kill, because the intention is that this is kind of like a network asynchronous event where, let's say you're fighting the Dragon, but there's a bunch of more people that are also fighting the Dragon, and everybody's kind of like contributing to the effort, almost like Kolv Taroth and Safi Jiva, except you don't have to be in the same lobby because everybody around the world is contributing to this so long as they're fighting the Dragon. But you guys can see that it is also an undead-looking dragon, and it is a fight with quite a few shenanigans for you to work through. And you can see him doing, you know, channeling the same type of energy the other one was, and blah, doing his thing. And he also has a busted chest, very much like the other dragon. But yeah, this is from the original Dragon's Dogma. And in here we were fighting the Dragon because I wanted to do the Dragon back then. This was how many years ago? It was like friggin' 8 years ago. This was when they made the remaster, because I was playing this on the PlayStation 4 Pro. This is when they made the first remaster of Dragon's Dogma, Dark Arisen. Good times, man. Good times. But yeah. So there's all that. If you guys are interested in jumping into Dragon's Dogma 2, I would just like to remind you, I do have guides for this. If you just look up Dragon's Dogma guide in my channel, you'll find this. I have a beginner's guide. Very helpful because Dragon's Dogma is quite a unique video game. So if you're planning on jumping in now to get ready for the DLC, which is coming out on October 9th, I would definitely recommend you guys check this out. I'll try to link these in the description. I'm likely going to forget because I always do. There's also something that I talk about here when it comes to Dragon's Dogma 2 vocations. This gives you like an idea of what to expect from each of the vocations, how they play, and all of that jazz. So you guys can check out that video as well. And then finally, if you do take the plunge to play Dragon's Dogma 2, my pawn is one of the official pawns that you can play with in the game. So basically, if you log into the game and then there's a thing that lets you select official pawns, you can select this character, and I think you get to rent him for free. He's probably going to be gig overpowered, so he's going to carry you through the game hardcore, because this is actually synced with my character in game. So whenever I make changes in this character, they are reflected in game, and you can, continue to, you get the benefit from everything that my pawn has learned. And my pawn, a lot of people rented my pawn, so he has a lot of knowledge about the game, so he can really help you out. Because like pawns have a personality in this game, which is really, really cool. It's a super cool mechanic. So like my pawn will shout out useful stuff at you when you're playing. And I built him as a tank, so he's supposed to just like tank stuff for you. That's the intent, and hopefully you'll take him with you and you'll enjoy the adventure. But yeah, it was just a really cool opportunity that I had when Dragon's Dogma 2 came out, and yeah, it's cool beans. So if you're excited, let me know in the comment section down below. I'm super excited for this. It's just kind of frustrating that this year every game is coming out on top of each other on account of friggin' GTA 6. GTA 6 just made it so that everybody's releasing everything. So September and October are just giga-packed with games. So, this game's coming out at the same time as No Rest for the Wicked, same month as, well, I say same time. I don't know exactly the day that No Rest for the Wicked is coming out, but it's coming out in October as well, which is also the same month that Phantom Blade Zero comes out. All of this so that everybody can kind of like dodge the release date of GTA 6. But anyways, that's another topic altogether. Thank you all very much for watching the video. If you watched this far, I appreciate you. And yeah, Arisen, we're back. We're so back. See you guys later. Stay strong. Stay safe. Peace out.